what track footage looks like before overlays and GoPro footage. Let's find him. Where is he? I know we gotta get him in the videos. There he is. Oh, he had a rough night last night. He went out with the fellas, didn't get home till real late. What were you doing? Out just partying? You're the star of the show, bro. Everyone just wants to see you. What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you guys. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. You know it's a good day when you wake up and your car's already on jack. Actually, that's not true at all. If you wake up and your car's on jack stands or cinder blocks, you are not having a good day. Luckily for me, it just happens to be inside my garage. So, I recently went to the track. I was pushing really bad in the front. I hadn't rotated my tires. So what I'm gonna do is rotate my tires like I always do. Like I said, I didn't do that between the last two track days. So I don't know if that was doing anything. I do want to drop the front end just a touch, add a little bit more rake. Rake is basically if the back end sits a little higher than the front end, that is called rake. So I want a little bit more rake. I need a little bit more front end grip. And I might adjust the rebound just a little bit. One of the guys there, the guy who owns the track, was telling me a way to get a little bit more front end rebound, front end grip, is to crank the rebound all the way up, see how that feels, and kind of work backwards from there. So I don't know if I'm gonna crank it all the way up, but I am going to adjust it. Today, I wanted to go over, I'm just gonna say the 5 things that I hate about this E36 M3, and not hate, 5 things that kind of bug me. I don't know how many things there will be entirely. There could be more, but 5 just works good for a number. I haven't even worked them all out in my head yet. I just know there are a lot of things that bug me about this particular build as is, and just about the E36 in general. Now, I love the car. The car is amazing. The swap is amazing. For a track toy, for a weekend toy, even for a daily driver, it's an amazing, amazing setup. But at the end of the day, it's still a 25-year-old car with 25-year-old car problems and just a bunch of random things that, you know, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together when I was buying the car. Not necessarily, just random things that you don't expect. Or maybe you do expect them and they just start to wear on you over time. So I want to go over that in this video. So if you guys are looking for an E36 project car, you can kind of know what to expect, at least a little bit more than I did, because again, it's a great car. It has many, many benefits. The pros far outweigh the cons, but there are some things that could bug you. All right, the first thing I got to point out, and this, I believe this is a common issue with E36s. There it is. Do you have any idea how annoying that is? It is so annoying. And from what I know, that is not an easy fix. I believe you have to go way down in the steering column to fix that. I'm going to try today after I get the tires rotated, the suspension adjusted, all that jazz. I'm going to try and fix that today. But I don't think it's something easy to fix. That'll be a different video if I try and fix it, but I'm going to try and fix it. But that squeak, man, it is so annoying, and it just progressively gets worse. It's an old car though, it's 25 years old, but it bugs the crap out of me. Literally what I'm doing right now is cleaning cleaning the fender wells of this thing. It's been raining here, there's construction going on, and this car has just a ton of mud caked on the underside of this, and it's just been bugging me. So I wanted to clean that. Plus, since I need to do some suspension work anyway, wanted to just get it all cleaned up anyway, get the tires off, rotate them. So anyway, all right, number 2, like I told you guys I was gonna get to, but number 2, these door cards. If you buy an E36 M3, there's about a 95% chance the door cards are gonna start peeling right there and right there. And it is borderline impossible to fix that. You basically have to get new door cards and hope they're not peeling. And I got really lucky, but there was a caveat to this because these door cards are actually for a convertible, which you can tell by that handle over there. That's not a normal coupe door handle. That is for a convertible. And to replace it, I mean, you really can't reupholster this vinyl. The glue just doesn't stick. It's basically impossible to fix, from my knowledge. There are guys working on a solution for it, according to some forum posts that I've read and stuff, but basically impossible to fix. Also, on door card topic, the way you get these door cards off is to pry between the door itself and the door card. And it has these little white pins that connect, but those pins are glued onto a strip on the back of this. And when the door card itself is 25 years old, the glue that holds those pins in place starts to peel off. And again, it's not impossible to fix. You can re-glue it, but every time you take this door card off, that glue on the backside gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and it becomes more and more of a problem. So every time you want to take off those door cards, you have a decent probability of ripping the mounting location basically off the back of the door card itself. I'll tell you why that's a problem for basically my number 3 thing that just bugs me about this car. So here's why that's a huge problem, because if you're gonna get a car that's 20 to 25 years old, there's a huge probability that you're gonna need to replace the speakers. I had someone replace the speakers. As you can tell, this isn't original. I know that bugs some guys. To me, it's not a big deal, but if you're gonna replace the speakers, you have to take off the door cards. And if you take off the door cards, and then that mounting spot on the back peels up and you lose your ability to mount this solid, then you're kind of hosed. But my number 3 thing, the speakers, all of them basically are gonna have to be replaced. I replaced these 2, the one over there, I believe there's 2 over there, and I replaced the 2 in the back. Now, there's kind of like a mini sub right here, and there's another speaker down in the driver's side footwell. These 2, from my knowledge, and I'm not an audio guy whatsoever, but from my experience, those 2 speakers are a very random, hard to find size. Just all the speakers for this car in general are really hard to find. BAV makes a replacement speaker set for 96 through 99. Problem is, 96 through 99 doesn't fit 95. So if you get a 95, the speakers from a 96 to a 99 won't work. Again, I'm not an audio guy, I'm not an electrical guy, I'm not a wiring guy whatsoever. So I don't know exactly what it takes to make speakers from a 96 to a 99 work. I don't know if it's a size issue, I don't know if it's a wiring issue, I'm not sure what the issue is. But if you get a car that's 20 to 25 years old, huge probability you're gonna have to replace all the speakers. Generally speaking, that's not a big deal, not a huge expensive deal, but when they're hard to find and the sizes are old and outdated, it becomes a problem. All right, number 4, and on the note of fragile things and why many guys, I'm sure, among other reasons, turn these into track cars. My goal with this was to make a really sick track car, but OEM plus build. My reference was always Singer Porsche. I love Singer Porsche. They're an awesome track car, awesome street car, awesome OEM like plus build. They're freaking amazing. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with this. I should have thought that through. There's a reason those cars cost $500,000. So I went through and started replacing the A-pillars. Well, I started taking them off to replace things like the seal and other pieces of interior. Like, for example, when I did the seat belt, I had to take off the B-pillars. And when I took out the trunk lid back there, or the lid for the rear deck, I had to take off the C-pillars. I'm telling you guys right now, if you look at those A, B, or C pillars incorrectly when you want to take them off, they will break. They're 25 years old and the clips will break. The installer of my head unit, I told him not to, but he did the mic for the phone, and he ran that up. He broke the A pillar instantly. And it's just those clips. Those clips are 25 years old, 20 to 25 years old. They've been sitting in the sun for the most part. They're fragile as heck, and as soon as you pull off any of those pillars, they're going to snap. If you can get those out without breaking, tip of the cap to you, sir, because that is amazing. Amazing. Now, if you're gonna turn this into a track car, not a big deal. If you're gonna gut it, not a big deal. If you're not, and you are anal about these things like I am, those pillars only go up in price. I was talking to a guy who's been in this doing E36s forever, and those things used to cost 50 bucks. I think the C pillars I paid around $250 a piece for-ish. That's so much for those stupid pieces of plastic. So, if you're gonna do an OEM Plus build, and you wanna take off those A, B, and C pillars for any reason, the fading, run lines like that, anything like that, be aware they're going to break, and they're not a cheap fix. All right, so number 5 is definitely unique to me because, well, if I didn't have this swap, this wouldn't happen. More specifically, if I didn't have flex fuel, this wouldn't happen. And we think flex fuel is the reason. So when I start the car, it does this surging or hunting. It's almost like if you've had a car that's swapped or that has a vacuum leak, it'll surge, but this only happens for like 30 seconds. And from what a few guys have told me, what they think is going on is the ECU is trying to identify like a correct fuel map, and it's surging and hunting and trying to figure out, okay, it has this much ethanol, blah, 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 blah. So it happens pretty regularly. I'm gonna try and start it up and let's see if it happens. Okay. No, it didn't really happen this time. Normally it would have happened by now, and just go up and down and up and down and up and down. And it gets pretty annoying sometimes, especially when you're at like a track event and it happens. Or there's, you know, it's just one of those things. There's a bunch of other people around and blah, blah, blah. And you just don't want your car to sound like there's a bunch of things wrong with it. Not a huge problem, but just something that bugs me. And on that note, I'm gonna add this as like 5.1. I have a lightweight flywheel in this car. When it gets warmed up, the lightweight flywheel is so loud. It is unbelievable. All right, I don't know how this will come out on camera, but here we go. See if you can listen to this. See? Okay. It sounds like a box of rocks. It literally sounds like your transmission has just a ton of rocks in it. That's all I can describe. Then when you push the clutch in, it's silent. Let the clutch out, loud, very loud. Takes up, when you're idling and just sitting, you can't hear anything but that. It's unbelievable. I'd say that's 5.1. Need to drop a little bit more, that'll settle. Oh man, I mean look, yeah, there are a few things I don't like about this car. Like, it's fun to make these types of videos, tell you guys like the little things that annoy me. Yeah, the squeaky steering wheel, like when I'm not driving it or slowly making a corner, like, yeah, that kind of bugs me. But like, dude, this car is awesome. The swap is awesome. The engine fits the chassis so well. I mean, it has taken a lot of money to get it to this point. And if you can do it and you have the funds to do it, awesome. If not, and you want to just mod out the S50 or just get this car stock, it's a fantastic car. Yes, there are going to be some little things that, like that. Yeah, that does bug me. Yeah, that is annoying. It's a 25-year-old car that you can get for fairly cheap and have an absolute ton of fun with. Oh man, I wanted to get a little sideways. Find the right one, you do enough hunting, something that fits your budget, what you're willing to put in. You can get ones that are in better condition for more expensive. You can get ones that need a little bit more work for fairly cheap. I got this one for $4,500 and put like 5 times that into it. I put a lot into this thing. I could build it kind of the way I wanted, how I wanted. You find the right one and they're awesome cars. You're gonna have to turn a wrench every now and then, and it's car stuff. There's gonna be things that bug you. That's just the way it is. If you're new to the channel, guys, smash that subscribe button. I got a lot more coming up. I got some cool stuff coming up with the S2000 too. Stick around for that. You're gonna want to see that. So if you like this type of video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next episode. Peace.